This is going to sound crazy, but Percy Jackson might be the key to saving Disney. Believe me when I say that Disney absolutely needs the show to be successful, at least for the next 5 seasons. Because yes, Percy Jackson is great and all, but what comes after the series is going to change Hollywood, and let's talk about it. Welcome back to Keepin' It Comic, guys. I'm Goofy Rexy. We live in a world where live action adaptations are getting really good. We even have a video on this channel where we talked about how the One Piece live action broke Hollywood and changed how people view live action adaptations of trusted IP, and it seems like Percy Jackson, the series, is following in those same footsteps. Because let's be honest, it's only about 2% of the Percy Jackson fandom that love the movie adaptations of 2010 and 2012. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the first one with the whole scene at the Lotus Hotel and the Poker Face soundtrack, but God, I could not, and I repeat, could not stand what the second one gave. I honestly don't know what they were thinking when they made that movie. They freaking changed the great prophecy, a half-blood of the elder gods will reach 20 against all odds. 20? What do you mean by 20? That was a clear slap in the face to every Percy Jackson fan that had ever existed. Rick Riordan, the author of the books, went as far to say that they ruined his life's work, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of agree with him. With the terrible pacing, disregarding the source material, giving Annabeth black hair and the lightning thief, and then they made her blonde in Sea of Monsters, it's like, what were you doing? I mean, for goodness sake, Ares wasn't even in the first movie. I mean, you had one job, Fox. One job. What the actual... My bad, y'all. I lost my cool. I just can't remember those movies without getting visibly annoyed. This is why in 2020, when Rick Riordan announced that there was a Percy Jackson series and that it was in the works at Disney, fans were elated because not only did it mean that they were getting some PJL content, but it also meant that we're going to be getting a Riordan approved adaptation. Sure, a lot of the details were kept on the wraps, but in 2021, fans quickly got a sense of the casting choice for Percy. And entering Walker Scobell, the kid from the Adam Project, whose rendition of Deadpool is spot on. His performance in the Adam Project was tight, and even in the movies like Secret Headquarters with Owen Wilson, it was pretty great. Now, Walker is absolutely funny, stunning, and he's passionate, someone that fans could properly see fitting into Percy's character. Then, the castings for Grover and Annabeth were announced. I mean, Arian Samadji didn't stir up much talk, but the Annabeth casting, well, that didn't sit well with fans at first because it felt like they were going down the same route with the movies, race swapping Annabeth to fit some woke ideology. But Rick came out and calmed the storm, saying that this casting choice was 100% approved by him. And if the creator says it's okay, then fans should kind of fall in line, right? And don't get me wrong, I don't mind the race swap. Some of my favorite characters have either had their race or gender swap, and I still love them. Nick Fury from the Marvel Comics was race swap, so was the Ancient One from Doctor Strange, who turned into a woman, Ariel from Little Mermaid, MJ from Spider-Man, although technically that's Michelle Jones. These changes don't really matter as long as they're able to deliver a nice and a cohesive story. My only gripe with the casting choice, and it's such a minor one, is Magnus Chase. After all, Magnus is Annabeth's cousin, and everyone knows that Magnus is universally white with blonde hair, so is he gonna be African-American as well if he gets his movie adaptation? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's a genuine concern. Also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, now would be a good time. As some of you may know, this is a channel relaunch here. We're gonna need your help to try to build back up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you can help us out by hitting that subscribe button, also leaving a like on this video as well, because it does help out in the YouTube algorithm. That way you'll continue to see videos like this and also videos that we cover anime and other superhero content like Marvel and DC as well. Now, so far, the Percy Jackson series has nailed it. The attention to detail is astonishing. The fact that they had all these elaborate sets and costumes for Yancey Academy and Camp Half-Blood, the dynamic between Percy and his mom, the progression of the story, even the way that Percy killed the Minotaur by actually stabbing him with the horn, that's exactly how it's done. Luke looks and feels like Luke, and he finally has a scar. Carice is scary and annoying. Dionysius is exactly what I expect Dionysius to be. A big shout out to Jason Mantzoukas. I'm honestly holding out for the Stoll brothers, Selena Beauregard and Beckendorf, to see what they will do with them, but so far I'm not even mad. Also, can we talk about the dynamic between Percy, Grover, and Annabeth? It's really interesting to see how they managed to capture the snippy vibe that exists between them, and Grover constantly trying to calm them down. I mean, it's only a matter of time before Annabeth starts calling Percy seaweed brain, and I love it. But as much as I want to, I'm not here to talk about the Percy Jackson series. Sure, the show is probably going to be one of Disney's biggest successes in 2024. The success of Percy Jackson pales in comparison to what comes after. That's right, I'm here to talk about the next adaptation that follows Percy Jackson. I'm here to talk about the Heroes of Olympus. If you're not a fan of the books, then you probably haven't heard about the next book series that immediately follows the Percy Jackson series, the Heroes of Olympus. Remember that great prophecy that I mentioned earlier? Well, after that whole business gets concluded, another great prophecy arises. It's called the Prophecy of the Seven. 7. This prophecy causes 7 of the most powerful demigods you ever see to assemble and embark on a quest around the world while facing some of the biggest villains in movie history. And I'm not even kidding. It's so much more than that. I mean, if you think Percy has been through a lot in the stories, wait till you see what happens to him in Heroes of Olympus. I can't give too much away, but believe me when I say it gets bad. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of fun moments and the action and the mythology are on another gear, but goodness guys, you are really gonna feel bad for Percy and Annabeth when the time comes. And it's not just Percy, every other character that's brought to the table is unique and notable. So far, I've been trying to describe the story without giving away a lot of spoilers, but I have to spoil one name because he's one of my favorite characters in the series, so he deserves an honorable mention. His name is Leo Valdez. Now, y'all haven't met him yet, at least at the time when I'm recording this video, but believe me when I say watch out for that character. He's one of the most iconic characters in the PJO universe. As for the story itself, imagine the Avengers mixed with One Piece, a little bit of Indiana Jones, and a whole lot of adventure time. That's kind of what it is. It's kind of an oversimplification, but in truth, Heroes of Olympus stands as something that has never been seen before in the history of movie adaptations. And if it were to make its way to the big screens, its success would be unlike any that we've ever seen. I mean, the motivation of each character, including the main villain, is all just, I can't even really describe it. And even after the Heroes of Olympus, there's another series that's potentially able to keep more eyes glued to the PJO universe, which is the Trials of Apollo. And this one is about the god Apollo who gets sent down to Earth as a human and has to face a bunch of trials if he's going to return to godhood. The story is extremely crazy and the Apollo character is all kinds of funny. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is I just showed you up to 15 years of trusted IP and original storytelling that has a beloved fan base with critical acclaim. I've just given you a host of series that could potentially shake the foundation of Hollywood and keep fans entertained for years, and it's all at Disney's fingertips. Now, I get what you're probably saying. If they have access to all these stories, why don't they start making them immediately? Well, the short answer is hell no. And then the long answer is hell no. In reality, you don't want Heroes of Olympus right now. It just doesn't work in the grand scheme of things. As I stated earlier, Percy has to be done with his great prophecy before the prophecy of 7 can begin. This means the Percy Jackson series has to be done and completed before they can start the Heroes of Olympus, and the Heroes of Olympus has to be done before they can start the Trials of Apollo. It has to follow the chronological order, otherwise it just doesn't work. It's one of the reasons why fans are so mad at the original Percy Jackson movies, because if those had been successfully done, by now we would have gotten the Heroes of Olympus live action. Instead, we're stuck with those pieces of crap. Like, oh my gosh, I just dislike it so much. Like, Fox, you had one job, you had one I'm sorry, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? This is why Disney absolutely needs the Percy Jackson series to be successful, because not only do the Percy Jackson novels fit into the current Disney perimeters of diversity and inclusivity, but the stories do it in a way where such characters don't take away from the story. In fact, it pushes the story forward. The demigods of Camp Half-Blood are kids from all walks of life, from all sorts of cultures and ethnicities, which is right up Disney's alley. Let's face it, Disney has not been having a good time since last year and even starting out this year, with most of their movies failing at the box office, including MCU projects. They've definitely been branded as a shadow of their former selves. They're consistently putting out products that are just retellings of stories we've already seen before, while they make the most ridiculous casting choices that just ultimately upset fans. Percy Jackson is a way for them to keep people happy as long as Disney doesn't change too much from the story. Percy Jackson is going to be successful for years to come, and the successes is going to rekindle the trust for Disney from the fans, showing us that Disney can still put out trusted content. Percy Jackson is the key to it all. This is how Disney comes back on top. All it takes is one successful show. Audience trust skyrockets, and then boom, Disney's back in business. What's even better is that we might actually get more incredible adaptations like Magnus Chase, Kane Chronicles, and even Aru Shah, which is a book based on Indian mythology whose author was mentored by Riordan. The world that Riordan has strived to create for almost 2 decades now has a chance to finally make its impact on the movie landscape, and it's all resting on the success of Percy Jackson. One thing I will say though about Percy Jackson is that I hope that they start making the episodes just a little bit longer so that they can provide a little bit more context and storytelling. Disney, don't be like Fox. Don't screw this up. So let me know what you think about the Percy Jackson series here. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's gonna save Disney, or are you like, bro, no, it's not? Leave it in the comments and let me know. Check out this next video here where we talk about how Yu Yu Hakusho and One Piece live action finally broke the live action anime curse. Subscribe for more on the channel. Leave a like as well. Check out the links that are down below in the description so that you can follow us on social media. And as always, guys, thanks so much for kicking it. We'll keep it in the comic. Bye.